thank you for joining us again today. I'm going to start with explaining briefly what we're going to be covering today. So we'll start with a small introduction on surveys in general, and then we will move on to the live demo and where we will be showing you how to create an entire survey. We will be creating the survey right in front of you so you can see how it's done, and we will publish it live. So in this survey, we'll be covering how to add the questions, what are the different question types available, and how to add themes and customize your survey, how to add logic to it, and sending out your survey. So we have multiple collection methods that Zoho survey provides. So we'll be going through some of them for you tonight. And in the end, we'll show you a little bit about how to analyze your reports. So since this is the first webinar, we'll be doing a very basic one. And since most of the people here are new to Zoho survey, we'll get the basics covered this time. So, but it should help you create a pretty decent survey. And in a webinar later on, we can cover the more advanced features that Zoho survey has to provide. Moving on, so why do we need surveys? For one, you really need to know what your customers and your audience think about you, your product, your company. If you're conducting like a human resource survey, you're an HR department, you want to know what your employees are going through, what they're thinking, how to conduct an employee feedback, if it's a customer satisfaction survey, then you want to know what your customers are thinking. Doing market research before even launching a project or product helps. In the end, knowledge is what matters, and it will help you get to making the right decisions and smart decisions. Now, we know that there are lots of age-old methods of collecting feedback. A lot of them used to be face-to-face, people knocking at your doors and asking you to fill out survey feedbacks, or sending you via post, asking you to answer them. It used to be done on paper, or they used to call you up and ask you questions like through telephone. All these methods, although they are still used, the use is decreasing quite rapidly now. And what is coming up more is online surveys. I could tell you why it's an advantage, because it saves time and a lot of money, and you can collect relevant feedback. So what happens with a lot of offline paper surveys is collecting the feedback and being able to gather it. A lot of the times you will not be able to push the questions to the relevant person. It comes out as a very generic questions, because you cannot tailor them according to what answers your respondent is giving you. For example, in an online survey, you can use skip logic. So based on one answer, you can show them an entirely different question. But that is not possible in offline surveys anymore. So you cannot do that at all. So that is one advantage that online surveys have, that you get relevant feedbacks for your surveys, which in turn helps you save a lot of time when you're collecting the reports and reading through the reports. You don't have to muddle through a lot of unwanted responses. So this helps you make quicker decisions, form opinions, and get patterns, identify patterns, and analyze what are the trends going on with your surveys. So now I will get to the part of creating the surveys and showing you the demo. So I will hand over the controls to Suganthan. So he will be showing you the demo of the survey.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, Suganthan, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we'll proceed with the demo. And so we'll just give an introduction like what we are going to cover on this demo. So getting started, we have three types of options to build the surveys right from the scratch. That is to have your own set of questions, or we have templates available pre-built on various categories. So you can choose a relevant category based upon your requirement, and you can further modify it to your taste. And the third one could be an existing survey, which you have already built in the Zoho survey platform. So you can utilize the same survey questions for your future surveys as well. And next, followed by add questions and pages. So we'll show you how to add questions and pages within the survey. And the next could be like to add logics, like how you can add logics and page logics. So as far as logics are concerned, as Krishna mentioned earlier, it would be easy to have the relevant questions displayed based upon the answer choices. So stick to the point to what you actually need and click the feedback. Once we are done with this, we'll be looking at how to add the brandings to make it more customizable and navigations and the thank you pages as well. And sending out the surveys regarding how you can share it out. So we have different modes to share the surveys. We'll look at what are those, and you can even embed it on your websites. And if you wish to click feedbacks from our panels, yes, it is also possible. So we'll be looking at all these options like the offline surveys as well. And finally, we look at the reports, the most important. So what you get and how all you can see the data. We'll be able to view that in the reports. And once it's done, uh, you'll be able to further analyze it. So here we go. And I'm about to share my screen. I hope everybody is able to see my screen. So this is the homepage of Zoho Survey. Uh, we'll start creating from a new, right from the scratch. So we can give a name, and the name could be somewhere like Webinar Satisfaction Survey. You can give a category if required. So now this is something regarding events. So I'll choose this. And this is the builder where we are about to start creating the survey questions. On your left, these are the question types, which is available to build your own customized surveys. We have 25 plus types of questions to choose from. And when we talk about a survey, it's always good to have an introduction to it. So to have an introduction, you can utilize the text field question type. So just drag and drop it to the right. And over here, you can add the message like welcome. Please take a few minutes to help us understand how the webinar went through. And you can save it. So it doesn't require any kind of answers to it. It's just to help the respondents understand what is the purpose of the survey. Followed by, we'll have a short answer question type. So using this, we can click the name and save it. So people will be able to leave the name. And we'll have one more question, email address. You can mark the question as mandatory if required. And under the advanced options, you can choose the text box size as well. It could vary anywhere from 10 to 100 characters. By default, 40 seems to be good for me, and I'll save this. Regarding the pre-populate answers, we'll be looking at in the advanced webinars. So for now, we'll proceed with the next set of questions. We'll, let's say the first page of the survey is just to give some introduction and to collect the personal details about the respondents. And we'll have the actual survey questions on page 2. So to add a page, click on the plus icon on the top right. Then you can have a title to the page if required, or just click on create page and choose a multiple choice one answer question type. And we'll have it like, did you watch the webinar? And the options, we have predefined choices as well. Click on the drop down and you can look whether it may suit. I feel yes or no is good. Or you can type the answers manually, one below the other, and click on save. Followed by, we'll have a matrix choice, one answer. And the questions could be somewhere like, how would you rate the satisfaction with the following aspects of the webinar? And in the role label, we can have the choices, for example, contents of the webinar, quality of the presentation, and lastly, like quality of the speaker. And in the row columns, you can have it like dissatisfied, neutral, satisfied, and save it. So you can utilize the multiple choice one answer question type in this way to get the feedback on various parameters using this question type. If not, you need to have three different questions for each. So to avoid that, this is a better choice. And maybe one more question, like to have a rating scale, you can utilize this one. How was your overall satisfaction with the webinar? And you can decide the rating of the scale to be from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. That's up to you. And it's an optional whether you'd like to name the labels. And if yes, you can name it. Very unsatisfactory, very satisfactory, and save it. So I think we are good. And maybe we'll have a third page. Just click on the same plus button and click on the create page. And we'll have a final question, maybe to have an open-end feedback. So you can utilize the long answer question type. Any suggestions? And you can save. So it's good to not have the this particular question is mandatory so that only those who feel to leave a feedback, they can leave it. You can customize the size of the boxes as well. Go to the edit and you can choose the size. Is it 40 characters width? And save it like this. So we are good. And if you wish to add any more questions, yes, you can. So you can add the same question type any number of times without any issues. So as far as surveys are concerned, you can have unlimited number of pages and unlimited number of questions in it. So we'll next we'll add some logics to make the survey look more catchy. So let's say, did you watch the webinar? Yes or no? I believe it's good to have this particular question on page 1 over here so that I can disqualify the people who says no. To do that, you can click on this and choose move and click on the page 1, like where you want to move it. You can choose the after the email address question and click on move. So it's okay to create your questions at any time and move it anywhere. To add a logic to this particular question, go to the logics over here and page script logic. You can add a condition, and over here you'll have your questions listed on page 1. Choose your question if the option "Did you watch the webinar" is equal to no, then you can disqualify the response because the actual questions from page 2 and 3 doesn't make sense if someone hasn't watched the webinar. So like this, you can add page logics. Similarly, you can even add a condition to redirect them. Let's say if it's yes and you just want people to go to page 3 directly, yes, you can. It's up to you. So depending upon the questions, you can redirect them to the right pages. It's We name this as page logic, and we have a few more. For example, uh, this is an overall satisfaction rating question. So you want to know like what is the reason went wrong if someone is going to leave a negative feedback for you. So for that, we'll have one more question below it, the same long answer question, and we'll have it like, please let us know what could be done better, and save it. And over here, go to the actions and add a logic. If the option is less than, select the value, let's say 6, only then show me this particular question and save it. So by default, this particular question will be hidden, and only based upon the answers, we'll be displaying this particular question. So we'll quickly have a look like how it's gonna be when someone is gonna answer it. So over here we see the survey question with the name, email address. I'll answer it. Yes. So you see, when I give an invalid email address, it throws up an error message. So the advantage of using the email address question is it will validate the answers to be in the right format. And once you're done with this, you can leave the answers. And how was your overall satisfaction? Let's say 7. Any suggestions? And submit. So that's it. And in the preview mode, we'll be able to show you how the survey will be displayed in the tablet devices as well as in the mobile. So the survey, what you create would be customizable for all the devices, and people can leave a feedback using any device. And once you're done with creating the surveys, the next option comes would be the settings. Under settings, you can see the header as the default option. So in header, we can add logos to make the surveys look more personalized. So click on the browse folder and add an image. And now we see the name of the survey is Webinar Satisfaction Survey. If you wish to have a more customized content on the header, you can select use specific text and add the content. If not, you're good with it, you can just ignore it. And next, followed by the footer, you can have your message, for example, powered by Zoho, and you can add an image as well and save this. Survey preferences would be the next option on your left. So make sure you click on the save button every time to save the changes what you have made. Under the survey preferences, you have show page progress bar. You can enable this if your survey is going to have more than a page to help the respondents understand how many pages are left. And if required, you can enable the question numberings. The CAPTCHA is to prevent bots answering the survey. And maybe if you don't want the respondents to come back and change the answers, you can disable the previous button within your survey. And the submit next previous, the content of the buttons can also be customized. Maybe instead of submit, we can have it as finish and save it. The survey messages are like the mandatory error messages. You can build the surveys on your own language as well. So you can have the languages to be set to show the right error messages on the concerned language. So if you're going to build a survey in French, choose the survey language to be in French, and the error message will also be displayed in French. All right. So click on save and save and continue later. The survey is going to be a huge one, and you want the people to pause in between and come back on a later date and time. You can allow the respondents by enabling this feature. So the purpose of this is will be giving a unique link for every single respondent once they click on the save and continue feature. So by using the same link, they'll be able to come back on a later date and time. We'll see the real version or the real test version during the advanced webinars. This is just to give you an idea like what is the purpose of save and continue later. And here we go, the survey end page. In the survey end pages, you can have the default end page, that is the survey thank you page, or you can have your own custom content as well. And maybe if you want the people to be redirected to your website when someone completes the survey, enter the URL over here so that people are able to go to your website and look for your products once they are done with the survey. And these are the other two options, that is to show their own set of responses or to show the overall response summary, like 70% of people are happy with the product and the 30% people are not happy. So it will just show a stats rather than conveying who was that. So it would be anonymous though. And you can even add logics for the end pages. Click on the add logic option. So for reference, let's say, how was your overall satisfaction with the webinar? If the value is greater than 6, you can have a custom message like, thank you for participating in the survey. And one more logic could be like a value less than 6 for the same question. You can have a different end page like, sorry, we'll make the required changes in our upcoming webinars to make sure everything is is good, and it would be nice to hear for the future webinars. So you can have any number of end pages customized based upon conditions, and click on the save again. And we had set survey disqualification logics within the survey. That is for, did you watch the survey webinar? Yes or no? If someone is going to choose no, what needs to be displayed over there? So you can customize the content over here to make sure the content is more appropriate. So sorry, we will send you the webinar video link, and you can save it. And closed survey page is like, you can close the survey manually or automatically by setting up restrictions. So manually in sense terms like you can close the survey 30 days later from the launch date, saying that you don't want responses beyond that. So you can close that. And when someone is trying to answer it beyond the date, this would be the message which will be conveyed to them. And you can customize it as well. So these are the options what you get in the settings. And once you're done with the settings, go to the themes. Under themes, you can customize your theme by clicking here, or we have fully customizable themes available. So you can choose any of the theme which will suit you. For reference, let's say I'm going to apply this one and further modify it. So this is the survey. Now, I think I want to make it more attractive. So let's add some background patterns, or maybe if you want to add an image, yes, you can add it as well. So on every section, you'll be able to make changes. So let's say the header, I think the logo is a bit too small over here. So we'll increase the size of the logo, and you can further change the font size, everything under the body, and the same is for the answers as well. Footer. This is the footer section. You can, so every single option, let it be the background, the body, the footer, the header, we give you the varieties where you can add colors, and you can make it look more appropriate to your existing website colors. Make sure click on save and apply. You can leave a name, webinar theme. So this theme would be saved in your gallery, in your themes gallery, where you can utilize the same theme for your future surveys if required, rather than recreating it right from the beginning. So you see your saved theme would be available. You can delete it as well if not required. So once you're done with the themes, go to the launch. The hub we'll cover it in the advanced webinars. For now, we'll go to the launch. Make sure you publish your survey so that we'll be able to generate a unique link for the survey what you have created. So let me quickly copy this link and put it on the chat for you. So please try answering the survey, and we'll see the real-time results uh, when we are about to get into the report section. So we'll continue with the demo. And over here, we have various options to be covered in the launch tab. So one by one, let's say online, this is the link where anyone who's going to click on it, they'll be able to leave a feedback. So you can share the link using any email tool of your choice. So it could be emails, it could be SMS, it could be WhatsApp, anything. So just copy the link, just share it with the people, and they'll be able to leave a feedback. And the next would be the offline surveys. So this could be used in a way like you are in an event and you just want to collect feedbacks from your audiences, and maybe there is not a proper internet connectivity over there. So all you can do is utilize the offline survey feature, have a password, a 6-digit password, and you can enable the kiosk mode. So you can show the first page of the survey when someone completes it, or 5 seconds later. So you can set up these options, and you can even enable the auto upload feature. So what happens is by default, all the responses would be stored in the concerned mobile or a tablet device. And when internet connection is available, it will automatically upload all the responses to the report section. So this is the link which you need to load in your mobile or a tablet device with the help of internet connectivity. And you need to bookmark the link. So when you go offline, you'll be able to collect feedback for your survey response, for your surveys. And then we give you the QR code as well. So you can have the QR code pasted. So anyone who's going to scan it, and they'll be able to leave a feedback for you. The next option would be the by response. So we have panels available. So in terms of purchasing response, you can't have an email address question within your survey. So you not just an email, like you can't collect any kind of personal information about the respondents. So within the panel, what I'll do is I'll quickly open another survey to show you how the panel is going to look like. So you can set up the demographics over here. So within the demographics, like what is the number of responses you would like to purchase from the panel, and you can choose the countries from which you want the responses to be from. Let's say Indonesia, and furthermore to Indonesia, you can target the regions as well if required. and the gender, the age, basic education, everything. So based upon every single category what you choose, we'll be able to calculate the cost. And for this 100 responses, you'll be able to purchase from us at this particular cost. So this cost may come up or go down anytime based upon the demographics and the actual number of questions in your survey. The next option would be the email distribution. So we have our own uh, email distribution feature, that is like to send out emails directly within the platform rather than to switching tabs. So all you need to do is click on create email, and you can have the sender name and to whom you'd like to send. So let's say you can type the email address of the people manually, or you can even import the contacts from a CSV or a XLS format. And this is the body of your email. You can customize the contents how you want it to be and save it. And once you're done, click on send, and you can schedule it for a later date, or you can send it right away. Your email has been sent successfully, and you can even set up a reminder email. So let's say you're sharing the survey with 100 people. Let's say now I'm sharing the survey with 100 people who have attended the webinar. I get around 70 responses. So I just want to target the people who haven't replied to my survey. So you can schedule the reminder emails for now, or you can schedule it later. And we'll give you the stats like how many people have actually opened it, unopened, and what is the bounce rate, what is the unsubscribe rate, and all. So make sure the bounce rate is less than 5% so that all your emails are being sent. And you can view about the respondents. Like, so you see that this is not a valid email, so it got bounced. And over here, you'll be able to see on various categories as well. So this is a easy method to track who has actually answered the survey and who hasn't. And within the reports as well, we'll be able to track who is the respondent. So since you're uploading all the email address over here within the platform, we'll be able to show you the responses along with your email, even if you're not going to have any kind of information, let's say the name, the email address question within your survey. And campaigns. We have integrations with Zoho campaigns and MailChimp where you can distribute your surveys. We'll look into this in our future webinars. That would be the integrations, not the advanced. So we'll have these to be covered in our integration webinars. And if you have a page within your Facebook, you can directly host your surveys on your Facebook pages where the surveys will be embedded. But if you just wanted to go through your newsfeed, just copy the link on the online and paste it on your newsfeed. So that will help as well. The next options are like the website inserts. If you're looking for a pop-up survey, yes, you can. So you can customize how you want it to be. So where exactly you want to show, it's on the all page or on the chosen pages, like what is the position it needs to be, maybe at the top left, okay? And you can generate a code and utilize the code to have it embedded on your website. Or you don't want it as a pop-up because there could be a reason like there are many antiviruses which blocks the pop-up. So you can utilize the embed feature directly. Use the HTMLs or the iframe links to embed the surveys in your website. The visibility is like there are two options. One is public. Public is the one which most of us would be using, and private is the ones like you can utilize it if your organization is registered with Zoho. So to conduct internal surveys, you can use the private and share the surveys within your organization to keep a track of the respondents as well. But for a general purpose, public is the right option, and you can choose it. If you need to know more about the private, we'll have a discussion regarding this in our advanced webinars. The next section would be the restriction. So you can end the survey on a certain date. So let's say I want to end the survey by 31st of this month. Okay. Or maybe I just want to end the survey when I have 1,000 responses to it. So whichever condition satisfies first, the surveys will be closed. And you can ignore if you don't want to collect the IP address of the respondent within your reports. And you can stop collecting personal identifications like email address. So this can be enabled if you wish to have your survey anonymous, so that you don't want to know anything about the survey respondents. So this could be used, let's say, for 360-degree feedback surveys where you want to know about your colleagues, like what they do and how is the rating performances. So to make sure you don't reveal about yourself as a respondent, you can collect the responses anonymously and prevent multiple responses. So this is a pretty handy feature, like one response per email. You can utilize this particular feature only if you're going to share it via the email distribution feature, because you're going to upload all the email address within the Zoho survey platform. So we'll be able to keep a track of the people with the help of email. So we again give you three kinds of option. One is like respondents can't update their response. So once they're done with the survey, when they click on the same link, the survey will not open, or they can update till they complete the survey. So let's say the survey is going to be huge and they want to come back on a later date. Yes, they can. And once they click on the submit button or the finish button, they cannot come back to make changes to it. Or if you wish to make them or allow them to make changes at any time, you can enable this option. So this is per device, I mean per email option. What if in case you're gonna have the service embedded on your website, you can utilize per device option. So what we do is with the help of browser cookies, we'll be able to restrict the people from answering the survey more than once. But what if in case people answer the survey from a different browser? On that case, this may not be helpful. For that, we have the option as one response per unique URL. So this is like you can have a parameter name to be more unique. Let's say email address. So you can have the parameter value as email and do not allow URLs without the parameter. So you need to append the URL along with the parameter and pass a value. For reference, at the end of the survey link, you need to have question mark email is equal to like this. So by doing this, either you can do it manually, or if you are planning to use any of the email distribution platforms, you can have the merge tag values to be placed here where it will automatically pull the email and attach it along with the survey link. So you can make it automated as well. So it's just a way to make sure people don't uh, answer the surveys more than once. These are the options what we have within the restrictions, and you can protect your surveys with the password. So when you're going to share the link to them, you can give the password as well. So by entering the password, they'll be able to open it. So those who don't have the password or those just have the survey link, they'll not be able to leave a feedback for you. And close survey is you can close the surveys manually at any given time. So without any kind of restrictions, or even if the restrictions is on, you're done with the survey, just click on close and nobody will be able to leave a feedback for you beyond that. So as far as the survey launch is done, I think everything is good. Now we'll come back to the actual survey. So we see we have 30 responses to the webinar survey. We'll go into the reports to see what are the feedbacks. So we give you these two informations by default. One is the total number of responses received and the total number of people who have visited the survey. So out of 47, 30 people have completed, and remaining 17 have just uh, clicked on the link, but they didn't leave a feedback. And even the 30, only 20 people have completed all the 3 pages, and whereas the 10 other responses are like they have closed the survey maybe on page 2 or page 3 without submitting the survey. So these are the details what you get on the summary of responses. Below that, you'll have your actual survey questions. So the name, the email address, these are the open-end questions. So you can click on the show 30 responses and you'll be able to look at it. Or you just want to look at the close-in questions, we'll display it in a chart. So did you watch the webinar? Yes, all the 30. So you can customize the charts as well. So how you want it to look like. So you can customize the charts, and below the chart will show you the stats, like 100% of people have chosen yes and nobody for the no, and followed by how do you rate the satisfaction. So you can use any chart how you wish to have for the quality, content, everything. And furthermore, you can export the data into a PDF for a particular file, or you can uh, export the entire content into various format, that is a spreadsheet, into a CSV, into a PDF, into SPSS, Tableau, and in Zoho sheet. So you can play with the reports, and under the individual responses as well, we'll be showing you the reports of every single individual along with the details. For example, the IP, and what is the URL used by the respondent. So you can have multiple links as well created for the same surveys. So we name it as collectors. We'll cover that in the advanced webinars. So for now, just giving an idea, like what is the date and time taken to complete the survey. You'll be able to view the responses of every single respondent. So that's all about what we give you in the reports, a default one. And you can create filters to look more exactly. For reference, I just want to look at the people who have given me a negative feedback. Let's say I'll give a name as negative feedback, and we'll add the logic, not this one. Mm, how was your overall satisfaction? Let's say the value is less than 5 and save it. So we'll have the people out of the 30, only one respondent was unhappy with the overall webinar presentation. So we'll have the details about them to look into it. So we'll be able to get back to them to see what went wrong and what could be done better. So these are the options what you can utilize in the filters as well. So we have a few more in the reports, which we'll be covering in the advanced webinars, like the custom reports, that is to have what you want. Like, let's say you have 10 questions in your survey, but within the reports, you just want to stick to 2 particular questions. So you can have your reports to show only those 2 questions displayed, and further for further analysis, you can export those data alone. So you can do that with the custom reports. The cross tab is to compare a set of questions against each other. So that would be helpful to know what went good for this particular product A and what went good for particular product B, or like putting head-to-head comparisons. And the final, the trend report is like to view the responses day, week, or quarter, monthly wise. So this is what we basically give you within the reports, and you can further share the reports, or you can delete the report anytime. And I think we have covered most of the options what we have. And the final summary is like this will show you the data what we have. That is the survey published date, what is the total number of responses, and you can check for the reports as well. The what is the response volume we have got, and a quick look at the questions what we have and the number of pages along with the survey links. So this is what you get in the dashboard as well. So it's all about how you utilize the product, and this is like uh, a common question bank, a kind of option. Like you can utilize this for a customer satisfaction survey, or you can utilize this for a HR internal surveys. So it's up to you. We give you the platform to build your own customized survey questions, and you can further work on this to see how it works for you. So we are at the end of the survey. Thank you everyone for giving your precious time, and you can write to support@zohosurvey.com for any questions in future. Thank you everybody.